Hey guys, and welcome back to Building Habits. In case you're new here, this is a series where I introduce a set of rules you should try and follow in every game you play. The goal is to teach you strong fundamental principles that we will improve upon as we go. This series is my personal take on how to improve in chess, starting from 400 ELO all the way up to 2000 ELO and beyond. I'm going to choose a series of rules that I have to follow. What you might notice is that you will miss chances to play winning moves. That's okay. The goal here is to focus on the fundamentals, and I'm trying to get you guys to build good habits and play high percentage moves that will help you increase your rating. Let's see what we get. E4. You guys know we play E4. Now, against this move, have we seen this before? We have not. I have not seen this opening. I mean, if I can ever take the center, it's always been my rule to take the center. Always been my rule. Let's take. Get those knights out. Get the bishops out. Oh, 5 more. Let's go. Thank you. Knights out. Not going to overthink things. Bishop out. H6. H6 from my friend over here. Okay, buddy. Okay, buddy. We're going to castle, and you know what? He's disrespected me enough. You're going to let me push my pawn in the center to kick your knight? No. I can't let this happen. I can't let this happen. There's no way. Knight to g4. Well, without thinking too much, the move rook e1, defending the pawn, and bringing a rook to the middle looks very, very normal. Preemptively making an escape square. Yep, because he's going to need to escape all right. He's going to need to escape all right. H3, of course. I would have played it last move, but I had to defend my pawn. So I'm going to play it this move, and his brilliant H6 move to have an escape square means his knight is now trapped. Means his knight is now trapped. So I'm just over here following my habits and winning a piece at the same time. Not bad. Not bad. Knight takes f2. Okay, well, I'm going to take that. It is a free piece. It is a free piece. Bishop h4. Fair play to the guy. He's got a lot of energy. What if I take it? Anyone see what's going to happen to me? Anybody? Knight takes. Remember, I'm being skewered here, right? This is a problem. Agree, Worship. Definitely want to take something for your piece if you're going to lose it. Lose bishop. This is correct. This is correct. Queen takes, and it's no longer about that diagonal. Use the whole board vision. It's about that bishop over there. It's about that bishop. Right? How many people here would take that bishop? Probably 75%. I only have one safe move to make. It's g3. All right, if I bring my king back, I'm going to lose this guy. Yeah, got a lot of honest people in the chat. Definitely would have taken it. Of course, because you see that your king and rook are under fire. It's like, well, yeah, let me get rid of that. Agree, Tommy. Agree. Very resourceful move by him. Bishop goes back. Well, I have to develop here. I have to develop bishop, queen, and then rook. We know the rook wants to go here. This is an easy one. The 2 central files. Right? Let's get this bishop out. E6. Here we go. We'll take it. He was threatening it. Kind of hard to defend. Okay, bishop takes back. And now, let's bring our queen up. And let's bring the rook to the middle. Hey, Tommy. What am I intending here, Tommy? Tommy Shelby? Earlier in the game, Tommy said, I spy a diagonal pin incoming. So I give this move to Tommy Shelby as a token of my appreciation for his participation in these habit streams. Queen takes g6. That is a free piece. Any logic on queen to d3 over d2? Yeah, usually, even on level 2 habits. If I had the option of queen d2 or queen d3, I would always choose d3. Just closer to the center, a little bit more aggressive. Queen d2 I usually pick because when I play my opening with e4, it's often pawn on d3, bishop c4, so d2 is the only one available. But I almost always play queen d3 when I can, even in level 2 habits. So that's not a strange move for me to play. It's true. It's true, Tommy. We're going to take that. Maintain the pin. Could have also retreated the queen. It would have been no problem. Would have been no problem. Free pawn with check. You shouldn't have. You shouldn't have. Rook to d1. Looks solid. We're completing all our development. I probably do want to move my king out of the way of this rook here. Here's where you struggle to convert. Absolutely fair play. I'm going to try to use the habits that we know to try to convert this game. We'll see how effective we are at that. But I'm just bringing the rook to the middle. Rook d1. Completing that. Rook takes f3. So if you're struggling to convert, let me point out that here, although you might not find it, the best move is actually king takes rook. So if you're struggling to convert, just take the rook next time. Just take it. It's a hard move to spot, but this will help your conversion in the future. Okay, we're in check. We're going to save our king. And of course, we are going to take a step towards the side of the board rather than the middle of the board. That should be a fully ingrained idea. Now, queen's attacked. We got to move it. In general, I like the idea of sticking to the habits. Keep the queen, centrally placed. Take free pieces, exactly. Queen f6. Queen f6. Okay. Again, we need to trade pieces, or we would like to trade pieces. We would like to trade pieces. These rooks are facing each other. I just need to move my bishop. Bishop to the center of the board. This should not be a surprising move. Not be a surprising move. Queen ag5. Now, level 2, that's a reactive move. Level 3, we remember why we played the move bishop d4. It was to attack the rook. So level 2, we would have taken the queen because that was his last move, but we're thinking for ourselves now. That's a rook and it's check. That's a trade. That's a trade. Okay. If I can ever trade pieces, which is what I've been trying to do ever since you asked me in the chat, hey, how do I convert? You struggle with your conversion. All I did was I looked to trade pieces. So here, for example, I traded my knight for his rook. Then I traded my rook for nothing. And then I traded my queen for his queen. Just trade. All right, let's get another game. What happened in this opening? Nothing too crazy. I just followed the habits here. I didn't really do anything too weird. E5 was a move that you just have to play. I've been mentioning in the other positions we've had from the Sicilians that we need to play d5 and kick the knight. It's the same thing with e5. If he's going to leave the pieces there, pawn pushes in the middle that are, past halfway, They're really going to annoy the placement of his pieces. So if you can get them, they're often worth it. A good rule, though, is, hey, if you're castled, if there's a pawn supporting this, I would do it immediately. But if it's just one guy, it's often nice to be castled so you can bring your rook to support. We've got a Canadian. D3. So D3 is a move that I would classify as not frightening at all. And A3 as a follow-up is a move that seems very consistent with the move D3. Yeah. So what we have here is what we call low T Canadian. Very low T. We are going to bring our pieces out in typical habits formation. Castle. Bring our rook to the middle. E4. Now, E4. In the past, I might be quick to take that, but we're growing up. Let's play bishop E6. I want him to take me. Keep the tension in the center. Let's keep the tension. Bishop F3. Again, keep the tension. He wants to take me. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm going to bring my rook over, and we are going to be sucking the fiddle for sure with the rooks here. G4. G4 is a very special kind of move in this position. Very special kind of move. Because G4 actually makes a very, very serious threat. After I play rook D8, my opponent's going to go G5, and he's going to trap my knight. Our friendly Canadian, who started the opening with H3 and A3, is planning to trap my knight. Me. Aman goddamn Hambleton. He's going to trap my knight after his seemingly innocuous opening. It's a bit insulting, actually. Just a little bit insulting. G5. You know what? I respect him enough to let him do it. I respect him enough to let him do it. He didn't even do it. Jesus. People always ask me, like, dude, why doesn't Canada have more GMs? All right. Knight D4. Knight D4. Bishop for knight. You guys know that is a trade we often go for. A trade we often go for. Okay, now I've got everything in the middle. Just open things up. Right? If a guy's leaving his king in the center of the board, just open up the position. Just open up the position. That is a tactic. That is a tactic. That is a queen trade. Now, previous me, level 2, would have said, you know what, queen trade, we react to that. But for now, we'll just take that free rook. That's a trade. We'll take it back. That is a pawn. That is a pawn. Our bishop's attacked. Why am I going here? It's not actually to win that material. It's to trade. I want to trade this knight for this bishop, and if you're wondering why Canada doesn't have any more GMs, right here. Right here. Well, we just lost our bishop. It's a great start. We're at least going to get something for it, for our trouble. For our trouble. Bishop D3, it's necessary. It's what must be done. Let's play H6. We haven't forgot about our basic habits. A game played without H6 is an incomplete game. An incomplete game. Pass pawn. Let's push it. Just going to take it all the way home. Or at least as far as it'll go. Let's take it as far as it'll go. Okay, rook's being attacked. Push the pass pawn. It's supported by the rook. I mean, I'll push it as far as I can send it, you know? Okay. We'll trade that. Now, you know, if I go here, he's got it covered. I see what he's up to. See what he's up to. Start some random pawn moves over here. Me too, Michael. I was ready for g5 by my opponent there. Rook d7, also a move. He's probably going to put one of his pieces in front of the pawn there. Why no rook d7? I think he just puts one of his pieces there. I don't think it's that good. Also, the idea of pushing a pass pawn as far as you can go and then making all the random pawn moves over here until there's none left is very habits. Very habits. You remind me of a male Emma Stone. I fucking love it. A male Emma Stone. Like a hot male Emma Stone? Or like a funny male Emma Stone? Both. Hot for sure. We take those. We take those. You would assume hot because she is hot. I completely agree, but sometimes when you change the packaging, it's not always the same product on the inside. Or the outside, for that matter. Rook up. Well, I can finally queen my pawn. Can finally do it. It's been at long last, but I've done it. I've queened the pawn. I'd like to get another pass pawn and do the exact same thing. I feel like every time I say something now, I imagine Emma Stone saying it. Is anyone else doing that at the moment? Because I'm doing that right now. As I'm saying these words, I'm imagining Emma Stone saying them to me. Do we just miss a ladder mate? We are taking, for example, ladder mates are generally not very effective when your opponent has pieces on the board. Right? When your opponent has pieces on the board, it's harder and harder to do the ladder mate. Normally when you do a ladder mate, your opponent has no pieces and you're just going all the way down the board. That makes sense. So if our opponent has pieces, it's a lot less likely we're just going to somehow ladder checkmate them. We're going to go with the pawn push. We're going to go with the pawn push. King to the middle. Oh, it's a bit annoying. That's a bit annoying. Shit. Fuck. Shit. Okay, this is not what the boys ordered. Okay, we gotta use our other pass pawn. Okay, we only got one more chance. That's a check. I'll pre-move it. Damn it. Okay. King to the middle. That's a check. Oh, okay. Fucker. Check. That's a real pre-move. Check. Another pre-move. Another pre-move. Shit. Check. Oh. Jeez. I don't know how I did that. It's really lucky. Woof. Am I going to bother analyzing this opening? Fucking absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay, we're going to play e4. e5. Okay, and one thing about e4, e5 is we're actually not going to change our opening up from level 2 that much. I think the opening we're going with is just fine. I think it's just fine. We've learned some new things to do in other openings, but In my opinion, there's no need to learn anything new here because it's working pretty well. Okay, we're going to play bishop here because if knight there, we want to be able to take it, right? Makes sense, right? Bishop there. Okay. Now, if rook e1 and the bishop takes, the question is, which one do we want to take with, the rook or the pawn? And I think generally we've sort of realized we want to take with the pawn. But if we're taking with the pawn, our rook probably wants to stay exactly where it is. So the question is really, how do I proceed from here? Because I don't want to play a move like queen d2 and allow bishop takes. Do not want. I can't play the move d4 right now. Okay, so I want to avoid double pawns. Got to leave my queen here. These double pawns are okay because it opens up my rook and it supports the center. Okay, but I need a follow-up move. So level 3, I'm grown. Knight in the center. He's not taking my bishop. I'm going to try to force him. I'm going to play this move like, hey, take my bishop. We need to get this over with. Knight d5. We're going to attack the bishop, and he did take it, which we're very happy about. We're going to take back with the pawn. Do you guys remember the last time we had this as a structure? I played queen d2, and then I played rook e1, right? He takes. I'm going to take. Played rook e1, and why did I do that? I said I'm not playing rook d1 and walking into a pin because I want to play d4, and after pawn takes, I want to have a rook on e1 to support the e pawn. You guys remember that game? I was playing with the black pieces, so it was like a mirror image of this. But it's important to remember that stuff because, as you can see, it comes into play here. Rook e1. d4. Again, his king is still in the middle. I'm going to try to open up the middle of the board. That would be ideal. Okay, well, something's opening up. I don't know what it is, but something. Now, how can I get at this king? Anybody got something for me? Anybody got something? I mean, hey, if he takes me, that's great. But it looks like he's not doing that. I mean, we're doing great, following the habits. All pieces developed. We got our h3. We want to defend this pawn, of course. But it looks like the brute force ways of just capturing doesn't actually get me into the position. Okay. Push the center pawns. Yeah, queen h5, I agree. Very difficult to get there. c4, you guys like c4? I completely agree. Pretty good move. I'm going to play it right now, in fact. You know why? Because I'm going to start sending these pawns over here. I've moved everything else. It's time to get those random pawn moves in. Boys, it's time to absolutely send it over here. Okay, queen a4. I'll start with b3. I was going to move my pawns anyway. I could go b4, b3. b3 looks tempting because it hits the queen, but b4 is probably going to be my next move anyway. Now that's a center. That's for damn sure. Okay. Guys, I got all 4 guys locked and loaded here. Yes. WASD pawn structure. Okay, g5. I'm going to ignore it. Now, which way should we capture? I think both are very, very tempting here. But I'm going to stick with our capture towards the center idea. Also, with the idea of opening a file up towards the king. See how he wants to answer this. My attack is moving a lot quicker than his. For example, his is 1 move in. Mine's about 5. c6. Now, what should I be doing here, boys? c6? Or are we just going to take this pawn? Of course not. We're going to be playing d6. Stick that pawn down his throat. Let's go. And how about the rest of my pieces? They seem to be on the wrong side of the board. I think we need a full reactivation over here. We need to shove everything back to the other side. Everything. The other side is where the action is. Knight here. Is there maybe like a pawn I could take there? Probably. But I think I'm in the send zone. I think I'm in the send zone. Queen over to a5. We want to bring all the pieces towards the queen side. What pieces am I lacking? What pieces am I lacking? This rook. This rook's not there. How do I get the rook there? We got to double it. I got to double it. So let's double the rooks. Where should I put my rook? Does it matter? They're all probably very good moves. I think there's a slight difference between them, but I mean, I'll choose this one. I think they're all very good. If you picked a single one of them, I couldn't really argue for one or the other. Okay, he's bringing his rooks over here. Buddy, I don't know what you're doing, but I do know what I'm doing. I do know what I'm doing. Rook g7. Important. How are we supposed to break through here? How are we supposed to break through here? E6 we like, sure. But we want to attack very naturally. We want to be natural BRAHS. Queen takes a6. Oh no, guys, no sacrifices. No, you're killing me here. You're killing me here. You're killing me here. We want to be natural BRAHS. We want to be very, very natty. No PEDs, nothing. Knight e2. Knight e2. Okay. It's fine. G4. God damn. God damn. G4. Okay. It's fine with me. It's fine with me. I got an attack going here. The good thing is if he takes this pawn, I can go here and checkmate him. There may have been an error in the processing system. Boys, there may have been an error in the processing system. What? Hey, I'm under. Hey, whoa, I'm under. Whoa, pre-moves. 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 Ah, shit. Pre-moves. Let's go. Let's go. Oh. A close one. How easy is it for attacks to turn around? Guys, it's not simple to attack. It's very difficult. In fact, attacking is not something we've done much of at all. We slowly brought all the pieces over here. This was great. But without a sacrifice here, great move. But without a sacrifice, it's very tough to win this game. Very tough to win this game. Okay, so the turnaround is actually, in my opinion, very reasonable, very, very expected. Check, king here, pawn here. And I mean, a dangerous pawn like that, you're definitely thinking about taking that. Without queen a6, it's very tough to break through. Very tough to break through. Okay? Could have traded 2 rooks for a queen? Yes. But one of the important things that we are actually starting to realize at level 3, which we did not have at level 1 and 2, is that 2 rooks is often better than a queen. So it would go directly against that to play the move rook takes b7 here. Because one of the things that we've been trying to learn for the longest time is, hey, you can actually give up your queen for 2 rooks. You can actually give up your queen for 2 rooks. And that's a good thing. Often it is maybe the best thing. And here, if I give up the rooks for the queen, that pretty much goes against that. Okay? Very interesting thing, d4. We are still going to play the move d5, but d4 is one of those moves that we haven't really seen any like new things against. Like d4, when people play this, they usually like London players mainly. So d4, d5. Okay, simple. Knight out, knight out. Bishop f4, and I think level 1 habits and level 2 habits, I was got by this, almost like the fried liver on the queen side. Okay. How to prevent this from happening? How to prevent? Very annoying. Very annoying. However, if you ever see someone do this to you, looking to play knight there, shut that shit down right away. Just end that entire thing. Forget it. It's very, very annoying. Don't ever think about it again. Play a6. Kill it immediately. Kill it immediately. Knight here. Knight a6. You guys might say, oh, but we're defending it. Guys, we don't want to do this. It's not. If I can choose another thing, I will. In the Evans, for example, I kind of had to do that. If the knight is already there, I will play knight a6. But if I can choose to prevent it beforehand, I absolutely will. I absolutely will. Now, I'd like to play e6. However, can't do that right away because I got to get my bishop out first. This is back to basic habits. Is c6 another option? Yes, c6 is another option. Is king d7 another option? Yes, king d7 is another option. e6. g4. Getting our bishop. Well, that's a nice, easy move for me. Nice, easy move for me. You always seem to have trouble with the f4 bishop. Well, that's what you get for sleeping with his girl. You know what I mean? He's out for you. He's out for you, bud. Okay, bishop there. I'm going to sit there and let him take me. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to play the move c5. Knight c6. Bishop out. I'm going to follow my basic habits. Oh, he's capturing. He's capturing, and he's capturing again. Okay, I'm going to capture towards the center. Knight e2. Knight to a very normal square. Hello, Nick Ottison. I'm happy with where my pieces have ended up. All very normal habit squares. Okay. Quick castle. Quick castle. He's going here. Question for the chat. Where should my rooks be? 2 squares. Okay. Heard a lot of answers. One thing that's clear, everyone wants a rook on c8. And you guys are absolutely correct. We definitely want a rook on c8. We'll start there. There's no way we don't want one there because, hey, that's exactly aimed against the king. Now, as for our other rook, I think there's an important divide between the chat, whether it goes to e8 or d8. I'm going to try to explain the difference, but to me, the move d8 is definitely where I would want it, because if I ever play a move e5, my d-pawn is going to need the support. It's also on the open file where he's attacking. So I would want it here to support that. Like, I can play the move e5 right now, but it's all about this. It's all about this pawn. I need to support that pawn. Knight a4. Bishop's being attacked. You know we want to save our bishop. That's, we never want to just let the guy take, for example. So let's back up. Now my knight's blocking. You're absolutely right. That was a product of his last move. I kind of had to go here. So I still think my rook should go there. And then you're right. My knight's blocking. I need to move it. So that'll be a plan of mine going forward. I will look to move this knight. Now, my opponent has finally, after brief respite, given me the chance to fork his pieces. It's been a move I've been trying to play for a while, so I'm gonna have to do it. Okay, at some point I'm gonna have to do it. Pawn takes. Got to defend my center. Now I got a nice looking center here. How am I gonna proceed in this position? Not rook takes. Well, my pawn would be very weak then. My pawn would be very weak. So pawn's guarding that. I think the number one thing that I would almost immediately do is finish my development. I would go here. And I would be looking at putting a rook here on the open file. That's like the next thing I would do. Okay. H5. Take it. This is something I think we've always done. Now, rook to b8, queen to b4. It's an idea. It's an idea. Rook h1. Aha! Something important is happening. We are being destroyed. You know why we're being destroyed? Because we can't attack. We don't know how to attack. We suck at attacking. We haven't hardly had any positions like that. And after g6, look at me, dude. I'm flailing. Absolutely KO'd. Absolutely KO'd. I don't know how to attack. I don't know how to defend. And you know what keeps happening to me? Whenever our opponent plays moves that open up my king, I always willingly accept them. Okay, I'm always taking. Still following my level 1, my level 2 habits. Okay, so what we're going to work on in level 3 is actively deciding, wait, when do I want to take those? When do I want h5? Do I want to take and just let him go like that? No, actually, after h5, I'd like him to take me so I can take back and I have an escape square. Okay, so let's analyze this. First of all, d4, we don't see this opening very often. If we ever see people trying to do this to us, we are always going to a6. Always a6 early. Okay, what do we want to do in this opening? Basically, my plan is I want to get my bishop out to one of those squares, play e6, play c5, knight c6, bishop d6. I want to do that almost every time. That's just going to be my game plan. And here I was able to execute it very well. Not thinking too hard about the moves. Again, if he wants to go here and take me, go for it. I don't need to be taking him and help him develop. He helps my bishop develop. I'm very happy. Knight c6 is very good. Castling is very good. Oh, wait, that's an accuracy. Wait, we have to look at this one. Now, how could this be the first time castling is actually a bad move? Because it really is. It really is the first time that we've ever castled and we've been told by the engine or the analysis, like, hey, that was actually a terrible move. And I think you guys sort of understand why. The h-file is open. H-file is open. But I ask you, in this position, do you guys feel safer castling this way when there's a bishop bearing down on you? We have a difficult decision to make because it's not clear to me that we have a place to put our king. It's not clear to me that we're very safe on either side. I would say that certain moves can be made ahead of castling in order to prime it. So we know that we want to play this move and, either this move or maybe the queen out to here. If we started with the move rook c8 or queen e7 before castling, it might give us an idea what he's going to do. For example, if I start with this move, he might go here and then I'll be like, oh, okay, hang on. He's trying to go castle this way. I got to be ready for that. But I think the baseline is we should keep castling, not be afraid of it. And it's more about afterwards. We have to learn how to actually defend against attacks. How do we actually defend? By not willingly opening things up. If you can keep things closed around your king, you always will. Okay? So, yes, I'm saying still castle. Even though computer says, hey, that's an inaccuracy, I'm saying, yes, do this. I think it's a good move. Okay. What we have to be careful of is afterwards. Okay, these are all good moves. These are fine. Knight h5 would be a very strong move, but again, it's to the side of the board and it's not the easiest move to explain. So even this is fine. Even all this is fine. Right here, though. Right here. I do not want to be taking this. I want to let him take me and have my king go up. So if I just somehow continued, play the normal move, this would already be 10 times better than what happened in the game. Do I get mated here? No, I always have king f7. Just as a safety net. So don't worry about castling. Don't worry about castling. There will be positions where you might have to rethink it, but in general, if I tell you guys, hey, well, sometimes you shouldn't castle, it's too confusing. Keep castling. Keep castling. It's not the castling that knocks us out here. For example, after castling, the evaluation is still -1. We have a great position. The king has to go somewhere, and I think this side is safer than that side. Okay? So keep castling. Don't worry. This is a game I would consider one where we needed to defend better rather than say, oh, our castling was wrong. It wasn't our castling. It was that we opened up the file. We didn't need to do that. But the bottom line is I don't think we should panic. I don't think we should panic. Keep castling. It's not like games like this are going to happen all the time where castling is a bad move. If we start to tell ourselves that castling is, not a safe thing to do, we're going to have terrible results. Terrible results. E4. What opening are we get? He's an E5 guy. We're going to stick with our opening. We are going to stick with our opening. E3. Why not h3? Well, number one, the diagonal is not open yet. And number two, we usually castle before we do that. I mean, he's going to go here. He's getting real tempted. We're covering that. We're going to play h3 next. Do I have a name for this opening? Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Do you want my name for the opening or the actual name for the opening? You want my name? We'll call this the Emma Stoner opening. So you got to be fucking high to consider knight g4 when I can castle. As for the official name, I believe it's called the Petrov. Petrov. So, is he going to take? No, he's going to play d5. An amazing move, honestly. I'm really wondering what he's up to here. Really wondering what he's up to. Does castling work? Can he just take my f pawn? He can, but two of those pieces for my rook and a pawn is going to be better for me. Better for me. He's offering me a free pawn in the center. I will, I'll be happy to take it. And f6. Anything familiar here, guys? Hopefully us level 3 guys are able to come up with the move right here, which is bishop g5. Yes. Fantastic move. Fantastic move. Look, we're very close to doubling his pawns. In fact, we're so close to doubling his pawns that we're actually doing it. So this is a pattern we've used before, right? Take that with check, and then when we're suddenly attacked, we move our bishop to h6, right? We've done this before. We have. Bishop's on h6. We're attacking the rook. And what's our goal? Our goal is to get that queen here. that queen here. So we have actually, shout out to people watching level 2 habits. We have done this exact thing before. Can anyone tell me what we're supposed to do here? How can we get that queen to g4? Or g3, but let's say g4 looks more accessible at the moment. Bishop takes e6. A great way to start because that bishop's covering the square. Covering the square. Okay? Step 1. Done. Now, we got to get this knight out of the way. Got to get this knight out of the way. I see a lot of suggestions. You know, where's the best knight move? Okay. Knight there doesn't work. Knight g5 doesn't work. Knight h2, knight h4, both possible. d4, e5, both possible. Remember, we want to get the queen to g4 with tempo. Knight e5 to cover the queen? Yes. Can we use sacrifices at level 3? No, we cannot. So can anyone explain why we are playing the move knight takes e5, which is absolutely a sacrifice? What's my justification for doing this when the rule's no sacrifices? Because it's mating? No. What? Guys, there's no sacrifices. So why am I doing this? Because it's winning? No. Otherwise, I would have done queen takes a6 before. Because it's winning. Okay, someone has a very honest answer. They say, because you didn't see the pawn was defending. I'm willing to accept that answer. However, the actual answer is because we've done it before. Guys, this is not new. We have sat at an analysis board on stream, and I have sacrificed my knight, even in level 2 habits. So we have already done that. That should be up here, memory. If you know that getting your queen there is going to be checkmate, you can put your knight anywhere as long as your queen gets to g4 on the next move. So that's why. It's not because I, just want to win the game. No, we've done that before. We've looked at it. We've studied it. Let's trade. We're up material here. Let's bring the rooks to the middle. And by the way, my opponent played a great move. F5. He stopped queen g4. He saw what I was doing. Oh, that is going to be taken every day of the week, boys. Every day of the week. And he's out of here. So, important game, but we were able to use something we've learned before, which is bishop pinning the knight, doubling his pawns, and bishop h6. That is an automatic procedure. And then what we want to do is get rid of the bishop, move our knight anywhere as long as the resulting position we can play queen g4. Okay, so that's why I did that. I know it looks like a sacrifice, but I didn't play the last sacrifice because we hadn't seen any position like that before. Queen takes a6, that would be crazy. Okay, we decided to go knight e5 in this one because we've already looked at this. Already looked at this idea. So keep it up there. If you haven't seen part 2 when we saw this first time, remember it now. Remember it now. You want to take that bishop away. This is always going to be, well, it doesn't matter where the rest of the pieces are exactly, but the main theme is there's double pawns. There's a king here. Your bishop's here. You're going to trade this bishop and your queen wants to get to that square. That's the theme. Doesn't matter exactly what it looks like. Okay, but that is another e4, e5 opening. Nothing Nothing new for us. Nothing new for us. We've seen that. But why e5? Because we're taking a pawn. We're taking a pawn. Mr. Captain Brown. Okay, we've seen this before. If our opponent plays there, we know we're going to play a6. Okay, our opponent did not play there. He played e3. And what have we talked about? Our plan is generally we want to play this move, this, and this. So we're going to try to do that. We're going to try to do that. c5, knight c6. Hello, Alan. c5. Who the hell was that in the back? That was Alan. That was Alan. Free Alan. Okay, the last time we had this this opportunity to trade bishops, what did we do? We brought our bishop back. Let's maintain that as a good habit. Knight there. I'm going to continue with my game plan of knight here. Missed the pants. Not a gambit, no, because we're preparing it with e6. So our bishop's always protecting it. But this is something we'll look at because you guys probably know we have never looked at anything against the London yet. And this is the first time we've got a pure London system that we are going to take a look at. Why? Because you guys are going to see the London system in a large number of your games. So we're going to look at how to beat the London after this. Okay, the same reason why he doesn't want to take me here, I'm also not going to take him. We're going to castle safely. Okay. My dude brought his bishop here, brought it back. I mean, starting to wonder what's going on. Okay, important moment, guys. I'm castled. I have to decide about my queen and two rooks. Rooks, where do they go? Two squares. I see a lot of suggestions, but number one suggestion is b8. So we're definitely 100% going to put a rook on b8. Thank you very much. Capture towards middle. So rook on b8 is absolutely correct. Now, it's the combinations that people are suggesting. Hey, is it rook e8, b8, d8, b8, c8, b8? Here's the thing. This pawn is supported by this. So if you guys wanted to play e5 as an idea, maybe you remember a previous example where I said, hey, even though this is going to happen and open up, there's going to be an open line on your pawn. So you want actually the rook on d8, even though you want to play e5. The reason you don't need the rook on d8 to prepare that now is because you got a pawn protecting it. So it's no problem. But if that pawn was here, for example, and you guys wanted to play this move, I would suggest to put the rook on d8. Queen c7, rook d8, and then e5. And then the resulting position, you're going to want your rook here to support this pawn because your opponent can attack it. But because this pawn is here supporting it, I agree with rook e8. To make some sense, you want to play e5. You won the George Washington Open. You got $200. Let's go. I don't know what the George Washington Open is, but hopefully that's a chess tournament. And if so, congratulations. Holy smokes, $200? Dude, I was definitely not winning money from chess when I was younger. I was losing money. I would spend $200 to go to a tournament and lose. So you're working the accounting a lot better than I was at your age. Random pawn move, yes, but where's that random pawn move going to be? Yeah, in the center is nice. In the center is nice. Where's my queen going to go? Any of these squares are acceptable. Any of these squares are acceptable. Queen, where should it go? I mean, the open file is kind of the first place I would think of. It is protected already, but it's the first place I would think to add pressure. We are on habits v3, yes. Well played, Thirsty. All right, f4, bishop's being attacked. Not going to overthink things. I don't have anywhere to go except here, and so I'll choose this. It looks more flexible. Why are we not undoubling our pawns? What do you mean undouble my pawns? I can't just move pawn here, right? Like undoubling my pawns, it's not like I just make that decision, right? Rook e1, defending the pawn. My turn. Knight in the middle, supported by the rook. This looks reasonable enough, and I'm pretty sure we can launch a serious attack over here. What are we gonna remember, guys? When he goes here and here, hands up if we're taking that pawn. Hands up if we're taking it. I know I'm not. I know I'm not. Okay, pawn here. Well, he's attacking our bishop, guys. He's trying to trick us. He's trying to trick us. If I take here, he's going to take my whole bishop. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Okay, free pawn will take that as well. Rook h3. Wait a minute. How did he do that again? Wait a minute. How did he do that again? Hey. How am I getting mated down the h-file all over again? This is a troll. We've seen this. Yep. Oh, we've seen this all right. Yep, I gotta start running my king now. Oh, this is a big troll. Deja vu, and not in a good way. Oh my goodness. Oh, let's pre-move that at least. This is tragic. Just tragic. Queen d2. Let's open the position for my poor pieces. Here we go again. Dude, I mean, what do you want? What do you want? Somehow this guy got the open file again. Oh, that's a pre-move. Let's do that. Oh. Dude. 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 I got 5 seconds, dude. What do you want from me? We pre-move. We pre-move. Dude. Dude. Get off me. Get off of me, dude. Dude, get off of me. This guy's really, it's really out here to mate me. Let's mate him. Let's mate him. Damn it. Let's mate him. When your opponent takes a long time to make a move, it's the very least you can do. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. My boy had a minute and I had 1 second. You might be wondering, hey, what the hell was that, dude? I'll tell you what that was. That's called good pre-moves. That's called good pre-moves. Listen, the point is, you have 2 seconds left here. You have 2 seconds. if I'm pre-moving king takes queen at this point, even if that happens, I mean, I'm going to lose the game. I'm going to lose the game. Right? If I'm pre-moving pawn takes rook, I'm going to lose that game. I have 2 seconds. There's no way I can win that game. So my only chance is, hey, if I'm in a position like this, I may as well pre-move like all the moves that might be checkmate. Pre-move the moves that might be checkmate. Because, hey, if he lets me play them, then at least if I pre-move it, I'll have enough time to finish the checkmate. Right? Here, for example, if he takes this rook, I'm pre-moving this because that's checkmated too. Here, it's like, I may as well pre-move this. Hey, if he checks me, it was worth a try. I can bring my king back, pre-move that. There's so many wins for him. There's no point in trying to calculate. It's like I'm dead lost. Just pre-move it. May as well. Accuracy, 89.7. What can I say? What can I say, boys? Now, how was our opening? Thought the opening was fine. This is going to be our plan for most of the openings. Is just knight c6, bishop d6. Knight c6 is not going to be, the greatest move because he could maybe start to pin it and put some pressure, but we do have enough pieces to defend. Point is, this is a setup I'd like to go for every time that I see the London. However, the last time we played this was against the Jobava London. You guys remember, it was actually this. And I said a6. So there's a distinction to make in your head between the Jobava London and the London. You can't necessarily copy exactly what you're going to do against one of those and use it against the other. Okay, so when you see d4, d5, bishop f4, we already know that we're in a London, but we don't know if it's going to be a Jobava London. You don't know if it's going to be knight c3. So if you play this, we'll find out immediately. Or maybe not immediately, but within the next couple moves. As soon as you see this move, play a6. That's what you have to remember. That's what you have to remember. But if that doesn't end up happening, you have nothing to worry about. You have nothing to worry about. So, first of all, e3 was what was played in the game. And we're going to have a look, exactly what we're going to do against the London. Right now, this could still be a Jobava London. Absolutely. There's nothing about this that makes this a regular London until the move c3 happens. Because right now, if I, for example, if I want to do, I just can't remember. I don't know what move I want to do. Okay, so knight c3 can still happen. So I'm not gonna say this is completely easy, but let's say knight c3 happens. What have I been saying? We play a6 no matter what. So even if we play this move expecting the London and then go with this move, which is a little bit different, we play a6, right? Because that's exactly what I said we want to do. Whenever we see knight c3, we want to play a6 to stop knight there. Okay? If they happen to play this, top engine move, they're super proud of themselves, don't worry about it. Just like we've discussed, this is a pawn that you are going to be able to take back, and you're going to be able to use this bishop. So knight here, maybe intending e5, decent way to start. e6, simply intending bishop takes c5, another great way to start. How many of your opponents are really going to play the move knight a4? Super weird move. Not b4, for example. This is the type of stuff you want to see. b4, knight a4, these are the type of moves you actually want to see, because most of the time when people play this, they're focusing on hanging onto the pawn. You're going to follow habits, you're going to get developed, castled, and they're going to have a bunch of things hanging out on the side of the board. So, I'm not even going to bother looking at this. Explore it yourself if you want to. I don't think this is going to be a very common move. It's people who play the London They never want to do this because they shouldn't. People who play the London never want to remove their pawn from d4. d4 is like, the pinnacle to London. You need a pawn on d4, otherwise you feel like you're not even playing a London. So trust me, London players won't be playing d takes c5. You got nothing to worry about. But we're not talking about the Jobava London. I was just mentioning this is the move I want to play, and I'm saying, hey, if they go here, they want to go back to Jobava London, don't worry about it. Just play a6 and keep developing the pieces as you've been talking about. Okay. So this is a very specific opening. A very specific opening. I want to play c5. Okay. If they know a bit about the London, they're going to go c3. They're going to go c3. Okay. Knight c6. Again, getting developed. London player taking on c5. No chance. No chance. Knight c6. Most common move for a London player at 1100. This. Definitely. Knight f3 is best. Knight f3 is best. Okay. Queen b6. Queen b6. Queen b6 is best. Okay, queen b3. Queen b3. Queen b3 is best. Okay. c4. c4 is best. Oh, top move, queen takes b6. Okay. Queen takes b6 is best. Okay. Take back. A takes b6 is best. And white is supposed to go knight to a3. Well, let me just come up with a exact amount of 1100s who are going to play knight a3. 0. That's right, 0. They're going to put their knight right here. You're going to put your pawn here, and you're going to put your pawn there next. That's all you're going to do. Once you do that, you're going to win the game. They're going to play a3 to stop you. They are not playing a3 to stop you. You're going to play this, and fucking half of them are going to take here and lose their rook, and the other half are going to take here. That's all you're going to do. That's all you're going to do. This is already a good enough position. They move the rook out of the way. Don't worry, you're just going to go back. You're going to play this move, this move, this move. Simple, simple, simple. Get castled. And then you're going to take this pawn and you're going to shove it right down his throat. Say, hey, remember me? Pawn b4? Well, I'm here again. What's up? Okay? That's it. That's the game plan. You can never attack this pawn chain because not only can you support it, but he's also going to be hanging this pawn to multiple pieces. So all that was apparently both sides playing best move, best move, best move. But what's happening after knight a3? Oh, wait a minute. The engine said knight a3 is best. Well, I got a question for you there, you fucking London engine. If knight a3 is best, why does black have an advantage? Someone explain that to me? Someone explain why black has an advantage when white just played like 7 best moves in a row? That's right. Because this line sucks. This line's not good. So even if you find an 1100 who play knight a3, there's a few guys in the chat, oh, I would play knight a3. It's like, yeah, congrats, dude. You got a losing position. You proud of yourself? This is no better. This is no better. So, after you are done refuting all the London players who play the best moves, okay, we can move on to the guys who play the subpar moves, like knight d2. Knight d2. Only good, not best. So, yeah, as you can see, we're at the bottom of the barrel of London players here. Knight d2. So, knight d2 happens. We go queen here. Now, after queen here, if we do our normal c4, queen c2 happens. And we do not have the trick that we wanted to use last turn, which was bishop f5. Okay? The last time we looked at this, bishop f5 would just lose a piece. The last time we looked at this, if our opponent played this move, we would play bishop f5. Just a great trick to remember in the London. If they take, you're going to take here, you're going to win their rook, but before you win their rook, you're going to kick their queen out. And they can't come back to join. You're going to have to go over here. You're going to take their rook. It's going to be the end of the game. Okay, you're going to end someone's career. Bishop f5. Just remember it. That's all. I'm telling you what it is. Just remember it. After bishop f5, just follow the habits if he doesn't take us. Now, knight here, you'll notice a big difference. If you play bishop f5, the rook's not trapped. You're not impressing anyone. Right? You're not impressing anyone. Rook's not trapped. So you can't do that. Which means we shouldn't do c4. It doesn't make sense. Which means we shouldn't do queen b6. It doesn't make sense. So against knight d2, we're not going to play queen b6. Okay? We're not going to play queen b6. Okay? Instead, we're simply going to develop. We're going to bring our bishop out. Okay? We're going to bring our bishop out here. Then we're going to bring our pawn here. We're going to bring our bishop there, and we're going to castle, and that's it. That's it. You're going to bring your bishop here. Now, why are the London system players punching air right now? Because their bishop should be on d3. But you got there first. Okay, so the guy just doesn't get his bishop on d3. Cool. Plays his knight, I guess. Bring your pawn out. And all you're going to do is play bishop there, bishop here, and just castle. Simple. That's it. That's it. That's all I'm going to say on the subject. You play against the London system. Okay. You play against the London system. Just put your pawn up here. Put your knight out. And not only will you already be winning 60% of your games with queen b6, but the other 40%, you'll just get a normal game with bishop here, pawn out. And remember, if the guy plays like this and gets his bishop there first, he's pretty happy with himself. After you play queen here, what's the buddy going to do? You're attacking his pawn. What's going on here? Is he going to play this? Just London players are just punching the air once more. They can't take it, and if they take like this, you're going to take it back. Not difficult. Put the London 6 feet under. That's it. That's it. That's the London. That's what you're going to play. You're going to see the London. You're going to play c5. Move 3. 1, 2, 3. Then you're going to bring the knight out. You're most likely going to bring your queen out, depending on what he does. Otherwise, you're going to bring your bishop out and just play those 3 moves. That's all you need. Especially at level 3, you're going to be KOing a lot of London system players. Pink Pocky, 5 gifted subs. Okay, hang on a sec. We got to start from the beginning here. Okay, it started with Temper. Temper with 5 gifted subs. Then Gumby Gambit with 5 on top of that. Then Bowden's Bishop gifting a sub on top of that. John from Signature, gifted sub on top of that. Papik, gifted sub on top of that. Rim Reaper, 5 on top of that. Thank you guys. BP, Big Perm, is adding 5 on top of that. And Go Dave's adding 1 on top of that. Okay, I'm going to try to get a habits game going, but if I have to turn into an auctioneer here, I will. Because we got to get more habits going. Don Fitch, gifting, that's 1 on top of that. Spencer, we got E5 on top of that. Knight C6 on top of that. Bishop B5, A6 on top of that. Take my knight, I got DC6 on top of that. Knight E5, Queen D4, that's a fork on top of that. And we have a great opening to start off on top of that. Thank you, Gene Fitch. Absolutely procrastinator. Nice to start out with a fork here on top of that. Wonder what he's thinking about here. Makes you want to grab a beer? He played Knight C6 on top of that. Oh my goodness. Spencer Landis on top of that. D3 on top of that. Let's develop the pieces. We're up a piece on top of that. He's castling on top of that. Oh, let's develop on top of that. Oh my goodness. Bishop e3. Okay. We're going to save our queen on top of that. We have to. Save our queen. It's the only move. Has to be. Has to be. Spencer's coming with some serious moves on top. He's playing d4 on top of that. My goodness. Spencer, go easy on me. I'm not supposed to tackle my... He's playing e5 on top of that. Spencer, where'd this come from? Spencer Landis. Queen in the center. My God, I'm getting forked by Spencer. Taking my pawn. This is ridiculous. Spencer's snapping right now. I'm risking it all. I'm risking it all. Queen g4 on top of that from Spencer. Oh my goodness. What are these moves from Spencer? f3 on top of that. Oh my God. What are these? Knight c3 on top of that. Okay. Okay. Spencer Landis. What was queen g4? I have no idea. He played g4 on top of that. Let's take a free pawn. Green Chile two-step. 5 gifted subs on top of that. Bug to the house. 4 months on top of that. Playing knight d4 looking for my pawn. We're going to castle on top of that. Help fader with 100 bits on top of that. Take that pawn in the center on top of that. Rook takes d4 on top of that. Rook d8 coming on top of that. Thanks, Baboon, Mick Baboon Face 69, putting 1 on top of that. My name is Prem in the chat on top of that. g5 on top of that. Double the rooks on top of that. Bring the rooks down on top of that. Rook d2 on top of that. Rook to g2 and rook to h2 and queen to g2 on top of that. Spencer Landis. Spencer Landis nuts on top of that. g6 on top of that. Let's capture towards the center on top of that. Tommy H 2777 with 8 months on top of that. Green Chile two-step also with 3 months on top of that. Where else would it be? Where else would it be? Knight to e4 on top of that. Knight to e4. Trade pieces. Rook to d1. Pre-move. The recapture on top of that. Pedro for the girls. Absolutely on top of that. Jiggers with 3 months. He's putting it on top of that. Unbelievable moves from Spencer Landis. Queen takes d1. And he's resigning on top of that. He doesn't want to play this game on top of that. Spencer Landis. What type of game was that? We do not know what just happened. So... guys, e4, e5. We're not going to let the overwhelming support pouring in distract us from the habits that we are learning today. Level 3 for the first time. We got a lot to remember today. We got a lot to remember. Castling is for betas. Putting 1 more on top of that. Oh, I think we confused our opponent with knight c6. Okay, we really confused him with knight c6. Okay, wait. Is my opponent trying to donate subs right now? Is he trying to put subs on top of that? Hyper Perry with the 2 months. Big plays on top of that. Is my opponent trying to give some subs right now? What's going on? He's never before seen knight c6. Level 3, guys, I'm telling you, some strange stuff at level 3. Strange stuff at level 3. And he's out of here! He doesn't even have internet on top of that. He's going to auto-resign in 20 seconds on top of that. FK Gun putting 5 subs on top of that. 10 seconds. Let's count down on top of that. 10, 9, 8. Let's go. Yep. Countdown to the victory. Level 3 habits. And he's reconnected. What? How you reconnected with No time left. That was bull. Hey, hey, how did he reek? That's insane. Literally scammed me. What? What? And he's back on top of that. And he's playing C3 on top of that. I'm going to lose this game on top of that. Oh, he played D3 on top of that. Okay. Okay. All right. We're fine. We're fine. Oh, bishop there. H6 immediately. Oh, okay. Hang on. We like to see this. Whoa, whoa, B4. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. Someone stop this guy. What's going on here? He's attacking all my pieces. Just calm down for a sec. Calm down for a sec. Knight A3? What? Are these the 1200s that are on the PEDs, or what's going on with moves like that? Whoa. Whoa. Okay. Okay. I don't know what I'm dealing with here, boys, but it's looking scary. It's looking scary. Oh, he's disconnected again. Oh, he's back. Tiago's playing with my heartstrings. Oh, wait a minute. We get to give him double pawns. We like that. We like that, guys. We like that. This is a good thing. Yep. Oh, he's disconnected. Yep, it's going to auto-resign in 25 seconds. Oh, he's back. My goodness. I think he might be playing from like a ship or something. He could be at sea right now. Tiago, I'm telling you. He is in and out right now. He is in and out. Do you guys see this? He's got some serious moves for me. Some serious moves. A5 on top of that. Gotta save my bishop. I mean, gee, look at this guy. Look at this guy. I'm making all the king E2 on top of that. He's got no shame. King E2 is ball clouding me. Oh, let's try to open things up. D5. D5. My goodness. Tiago, he's making me work here. He's making me work here. Yeah. No, Tiago is dangerous. He's dangerous right now. King E3! What? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Let's attack the center. Activating the king in the endgame. I mean, jeez. Jeez. King F4! What am I looking at here? Kick the knight out? I mean, King F4. Where is Tiago going? Where's Tiago going? Is he coming at me? Is he coming up the board? Let's find out. Let's find out. Tiago? Mod check? Tiago? There's no way. Has to be king. Okay. Just had to double check. King G3. Finally. Okay, we get to see this guy actually move his king backwards. First time in the game. There's a couple pawns that we want to take. Start with this one. Bishop D3. Tiago! Jeez, Tiago. Come on, dude. Bishop D3? I didn't even see that move. I thought he was going to check me. Should have probably taken the other pawn. I actually did not see that. Bishop to C4 from Tiago! Tiago, please. Please. Tiago. Why is he so good? Why is he so good? Bishop f7. Oh my goodness. Quicklet. For CW Clet. Thank you for putting 5 on top of that. He's going for the kill, honestly. I'm just gonna push my pass pawn. I'm kind of wondering what the homie Tiago is up to. Okay. I'm just gonna let Tiago fulfill his fantasy here. Now, rook takes g4, just a little too much. Just a little too much. We wanna let Tiago fulfill his fantasy here. Let's see what Tiago's up to. Big T. Big T. See what Big T's up to. Oh God. You see this? This is crazy. Tiago is setting me up for failure here. Tiago has mating potential. He really does. He really does. He's covering the pass pawn, Big T. I mean, what am I supposed to do here? Play a2. Just queen. We got one guy suggesting a2. I think we found the Tiago burner account. Check. Yeah. Classic. Classic. Push the pawn. Push the pawn. We're trying to queen the damn thing. Okay, let's put the rook behind the pawn. Rook behind the pass pawn. Tiago? I still am not convinced. You know what I mean? Tiago's not the type of guy that you can just win easily against. Tiago is going to make things difficult. That's a pre-move. That's a pre-move. That's a pre-move. We want to protect that square, so that's a pre-move. And then, dope. Take it. That's a pre-move. That's a pre-move. Now, we need to mate Tiago. Oh, ladder. Ladder for the boys. Oh, yeah. That's a nice, easy ladder. Yep. Yep. Tiago. Tiago is very dangerous. Let's get back. What was this opening? Well, it's actually fairly normal. I thought Tiago was going to go d4. But what we did was we attacked his pawn. Right, which is why he played d3. Okay, the opening was very fine, though. Like, again, he played here and took the knight, which is not that good. Not that good. Okay, so we were happy to see that. We were generally pretty happy with the opening. The e4, e5s are from level 1 and level 2 of habits, so they're not that new to us, you know? They're not that new. That's right, Kukulov. We're closing in, man. We're closing in. We got to get some big habits wins. We got to hit 1,200. And, Rock and Jason put one on top of that. Thank you, Rock and Jason. Guys, we have not ever played against the French. We have not played against the French. Is that right? This is the first time. This is the first time. So we're gonna have to look at this afterwards. We're gonna have to. C5. Do we know what we're doing here? No, we do not know what we're doing. We're going to look at this after because believe me, guys, I got a little something something for you against the French. Yes, I do. Ryan Calzone putting his prime on it. On top of that, let's capture. Okay, we're going to develop. Let's go here. We're going to follow the habits. Bishop there, we're going to capture back. Castle. Okay, rook to the middle. This rook is going to go there. There's two open files right smack in the center of the board. So it is pretty like obvious, I guess, where the pieces should go. Let's take that and let's pin the knight. Let's pin the knight. So again, we're going to take a look at this immediately afterwards. D4. Hang on a sec. D4. I was actually planning to play knight there. I was planning to play knight here too. To do this, but I'm only got one move here. I have to play b4. So again, what is the French? We have no idea. I'm going to take a look at the French with you guys afterwards, and we will establish a decent system for us to play. Is this game going to be representative of what we're going to do in habits? No. Oh, the Discord bros. Did everyone check Discord? Everyone check Discord. Bishop there. Okay. Bishop g4. A common puzzle. Sure, common puzzle. Definitely. Now, this is a very, very common puzzle rush moment. But it is definitely a tactic that belongs to level 3 and not level 2. Not level 2. So, queen takes g4? No, definitely not. But the question is, do we play knight takes or do we play bishop takes on f6? Both of them remove the defender of this bishop. One is better than the other. That is correct. One is better than the other. One is a check and the other one loses your queen. So actually, I think the majority of the chat is saying knight. Majority of the chat's saying knight. The majority of the chat is wrong. If you take with the knight, it will be check, and black will have to take it. And then after you take here, that pawn on f6 is going to take your bishop. You didn't win anything. You didn't win anything. It's even. If you take with the bishop, well, then if he takes back, you win the bishop. And if you take the queen, I'm going to take that queen. And if you play this, well, now I know that the guy who's playing with the black pieces is probably in the chat. That looks like a chat move. And he's done. Yeah. Queen takes f6 is not it, chief. Not it. Guys, very important. Practice those tactics. Obviously, when the tactics happen, if they're not anything too crazy, I am going to play them in every game here. But even if you wouldn't have seen this, it's important to understand why the answer is correct. You guys all said knight here. Take back. Well, your queen's being attacked. So obviously, you're planning on taking this. I can only assume. And after this, It's like, what tactic did we do there? You know what I mean? What tactic was that? Vadko says, and queen f5. Ah, I must have missed that, Vadko. Thank you. Thank you for the clarification. Queen f5. The chat. The chat was planning to play queen f5, right? Right, guys? You're all planning to play queen f5. Well, the problem is most of the chat, unfortunately, Vadkos 11 doesn't even see the next move. After queen f5, they don't even know what they're threatening. So I think it's just you, Vadkos. I think it's just you, buddy. Queen f5. Okay, sure. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Rook's covering e7. It's a good thing you guys in the chat saw that. Rook covering e7. Classic checkmate down there. Good pattern seen by the chat. So when bishop g4 happens, what move should we be playing? Not knight f6. Why? Because every time you see this tactic, it's most likely going to work in this way. Most likely. You don't want the pawn to take and then hit your piece. Now, opening. We need to take a look, guys, right? I mean, hey, this is the French. We haven't seen the French yet. Let's have a look. e4, e6. Okay? French defense. French defense. What are we going to do against the French defense? Okay? Number one, I am not about to recommend something like this where we get a very closed position. Closed position, nope. No. We need some open positions. Okay? We need some open positions, and most importantly, we need some positions that we can follow habits in. Okay? We need some positions that are generally fairly simple and that we can follow good habits in going forward. Okay? So some French lines that might be very good are going to be more tough to play when it comes to applying habits because you're not going to be able to play everything perfectly. Now, what's wrong with the closed? There's nothing wrong with the closed, but I think at the lower levels, people who play this move lose this game likely within the next 10 moves. Very common. At 1100, if you play this, black attacks the center, plays this, people start playing this, and just like lose the game. I've seen this like 1,000 times. Nobody knows how to properly defend a center against the French. This is why people play the French. Everybody gets super quick wins like this. Nobody knows how to properly handle the center. Like, how many people are going to go here and just like give up this pawn because of the tactic bishop there? How many people are then going to realize after bishop d7 that, well, actually, that's now a threat, and you have to defend that? They might just castle, might not know what they're doing. It's so complicated. It's just like, it's been seen before. The advance is not what I'm going to recommend to you. Hey, if you play the advance, you know what you're doing. Power to you. Power to you. But I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of it. So, like I said, going to go for a slightly more open position. And black's going to play d5 the same way against c6. They're also going to play d5. They're going to autopilot it. It's almost a pre-move. That's what the French is. e6, d5. So, we're not going to go for closed position. What other lines are there? Well, d4, d5. There's two main moves that I would say. There's also this. Knight c3, knight d2, and e takes d5. Okay? We're not going to go for e5. So, pawn takes d5 is a great variation. There's probably another place that you might want to go if you like e takes d5, and that would be the pharmacy to get some Viagra, you low testosterone bastard. I am not recommending e takes d5. So please, anyone who plays e takes d5, just have some self-respect, okay? Have some self-respect. right? That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Now, we're not going to play e5. We're not going to play pawn takes. We're going to defend the pawn. How are we going to defend the pawn? Knight c3, knight d2. Both very, very logical moves. Okay. Which one do we actually like? Well, I'm going to choose the one that I believe is a lot more simple to understand, which is knight d2. Knight c3. If people play bishop b4, I think the position gets very, very, very confusing. We're going to choose something nice and simple. Knight d2. It's the easiest way to get positions that still involve all the normal good habits that we've developed so far. We keep the tension, absolutely. Something we're learning in level 3, Fedya, 100%. Knight d2. Now, your opponents may have all sorts of things, but trust me, if you play this move at 1100, I think a remarkable majority of your opponents are going to take this pawn. They're going to take this pawn because they're just really excited to take things. I mean, this is normal. This is normal. You're going to take back, right? So I think you'll get this position a lot of the time. And this is great for habits. This is all we need. We need knight, bishop, castle, rook to e1, queen e2, this rook over to d1 after we put this bishop somewhere. So this is all we need. This is all we need. Okay? What if they'll play bishop b4? Well, bishop b4 against this is not going to be very effective, right? Bishop b4 against this, you just play c3. Okay? If your knight was on c3, this would be much more of an issue, let's say. Okay? So if they play bishop b4, who cares? Just kick them out. Kick them out. Right? Now, there's also going to be a percentage of people, after you play this move, that are going to play c5 because that's the French move after e5, and they're sort of like autopiloting. This is maybe what they would normally do against e5. So they might play c5. This is a very, very natural move. Okay. After c5, we have an important decision to make. First of all, there's a lot of tension here. Do we want to be the person who releases the tension? Depends. It depends. But what I like to go for in this position is a move that maintains the tension, which is just knight f3. So we're going to support both of these pawns. Okay. We're waiting for their decision. If they take, it's going to affect what we do. Okay. For example, if they take here, if you take back, it's an important decision for your opponent to make because the move knight d4 is actually not the best move. Surprisingly, the best move is actually pawn takes here. Now, are we going to have everyone out here playing pawn takes d5? Well, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Do you guys remember the Evans? You guys remember the Evans? There was like knight h6. So trust me, in some of these openings that we're learning, we are going to be making some decisions that look a little bit strange. And that's because they're for the purpose of the opening. There's just, unfortunately, some things, they have to be learned the difficult way. You have to make a move that might not be natural to you. Okay? Might not be natural to you. But I promise you it'll set you up for a very comfortable game later on. So the whole idea is if we go here, if they take their pawn here. If they take back like this, eventually you'll just capture this pawn. You'll develop normally. You'll castle. Okay? Bishop here, castle. Knight takes. Very simple. If they take with the queen, okay, then basically our idea in this opening is not only do we want to attack the queen to gain some time, but after we attack the queen, it's got to go somewhere safe. Just keep guarding the pawn. We're going to get castled, and we're going to bring our knight here, and we're going to take that pawn. And there's nothing your opponents are going to be able to do to stop that. Okay? Simple. You're going to attack the queen so that you can get castled very quickly. You're going to castle, and then you're going to move here, and you're going to take that pawn. And after you take that pawn, you're going to have a very, very easy time developing. Where do your rooks go? Well, bloody obvious. Bring them to the middle. Where does this bishop go? It can honestly move to any number of those squares. The queen usually goes to e2. The rooks go to the middle. So your development is going to be very simple. And that's what I want to set you guys up for. Very easy development, You still follow the habits. Okay? Now, after this move, they might do something different. But generally speaking, what we're going to be going for is that position I just mentioned, an isolated pawn on the d file. So if we can get a position like this, where there's an isolated pawn here, one black pawn, something like this, that's going to be a very easy thing to play against, and it's something that's actually going to teach us a lot of very good habits. Mayo just went over this with Dan, if you guys watched that stream. It's not like we're going to play these exact moves right now, but what I'm saying is that if we can play against an isolated pawn, that's perfect. That's exactly what we need. Okay? Some of our openings are going to be more aggressive than others, but an isolated pawn is going to teach you everything you need to know. I mean, playing against an isolated pawn is the perfect way to improve. Okay? The knight here, the bishop out, castling. We'll get to it. But just to let you guys know, that is essentially what we're trying to go for. We're trying to get a position where black has one pawn here. Okay? But even if not, we can always simply just trade, bishop out, castle, and we're going to have a solid position. Is fianchettoing okay? I don't like fianchettoing. I think we're going to keep our bishop moves always to this diagonal in this series for now, the habit series for now. Okay, so we're going to start like this. We're going to move bishop and knight. Knight here, and put our bishop here. Okay, and then we're going to put our knight here. These are the type of moves that we're going to go for from the start. E4, E6, we're going to start with D4. We're going to play knight D2. And we're going to try to, where possible, maintain our pawn in the center. Defend it with our pieces. Bring our pieces out like that. Castle. Okay? That's it. So that's the French. You could look at this game, but the game itself was kind of a crush. And on top of that, it wasn't something that I want you guys to repeat. It wasn't something that I want you to repeat. So that's why I'm focusing on, I mean, not this. This was the game. That's why I'm saying, hey, let's focus on this. Play D4, knight D2. Okay, knight here. Yes, we want to take, but not till there's the C5. Okay, we don't want to play E5. We're going to try to avoid those positions. I think in general, the closed structure is not what we want to go for. So try to keep the tension. Bishop D3. If he takes, then we're always going to take back. Bishop's covering it. Not worried. Knight out, right? You know, and your opponents can do multiple things. Bishop B4, we're always kicking the bishop back. C5. C5 is the other move. And after C5, again, there's going to be lots of suggestions. E5, C3, you know, those are all fine. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with any of those moves. In fact, they might even be better. We're going to pick something that I believe is fairly simple, very manageable, not too difficult to learn at the beginning. Okay, so in general, we're going to focus on getting developed. Knight F3, Queen E2, castling. C3, sure. C3, knight there. This is all fine. But although there might be more preferable moves, E5, if you like those E5 systems, you can play them. What I'm going to try to do is to show you guys a less complicated way to play. Isn't D4 hanging? Well, remember, D4 in a lot of positions, let's say even this one, might look like it's hanging, but the main idea is that you can leave it there because there's bishop B5 check, which wins the queen. So this tactic is keeping your position alive in most cases. So that's why you can leave the pawn there. That's the French. I still don't think we'll see a lot of the French. I think we'll see mostly E5. But just in case it does happen, let's go for this and knight D2. And, you know, you'll get some games in there. They'll be good, they'll be bad. You can analyze them after. Make sure you get on the right page. But for now, that's what we're going to do. D4, knight D2. It's called the Tarrasch. Okay? You want to have a look at it yourself? Go for it. But against the French, let's just say that's our plan going forward. We'll play D4 and knight D2. That's it. Don't need to go in heavy detail. Again, we don't want to learn like tons and tons and tons of theory. We want to try to play the percentages. Most of the games are going to be e4, e5 or e4, c5. They really will. So we don't need to, go crazy looking at the French, for example. Let's get another 5-minute game. It's Blood Latte. Blood Latte. If we remember Blood Latte, he is a friendly viewer in chat, and I believe he had a tough game today against Dan. Dan put him in the dirt. American Wade with 2 subs on top of that. Thank you, American Wade. Bishop to b5. Okay. We're playing a6, as you guys know. As you guys know, because we've seen this before. Maybe he hasn't, but we have. Exclamation mark habits info if you want to know what rules we're following. We are on level 3. Okay, we are on level 3. Bishop a4. What an impressive move. d3. I'm going to just go here and go there. Maybe Vatkos, but I doubt it. I've personally played some under 1200s who are much stronger than I am. c3. We've seen this before. We've seen c3 before. Now, c3 intends d4, but at the same time, he's going to have a hanging pawn if he follows through with that. So, let's castle. See what our friend wants to do. Why no music today? It's very faint in the background. It's there. It's there. But we'll turn up the music for the evening portion of the stream. Thank you, Vatkos, for gifting us up. d5 here. d5 definitely possible. Would be a little out of character for us with the black pieces. Normally something we want to do with white. Let's take it. Mostly because if I went here, I don't want to take that way. And bishop a7 doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So doing this more out of necessity. More of necessity. Okay. h6. Move I want to play. Queen probably doesn't want to go here to get in the pin. Bishop. Let's get that guy in. These are the next couple moves. d5, once I've got my pieces out, is absolutely going to be on my radar. What a cool guy. Thanks, dude. Be fresh. Thanks for the 3 months. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, good move. Let's bring the rooks to the middle. d4. And the reason we are going to capture this pawn is what? Do I ever want to do this unless I have to? No, I don't want to undouble his pawns. The reason is because I just played rook e8 for a reason. Okay? Rook e8 is not a move I'm doing randomly. It's because I know this is a possibility, and then it's the e-pawn that's going to need attention. Why do you guys think that when I played white in this position, I brought my rook here? Because I know that the e-pawn needs support. Okay? But that's why I did this, because I know the e-pawn is what I want to attack. Sal adjusted. Thanks to the 25 months. We better be at 20K subs in a minute. Step by step, eh? 17K. And then it's onwards and upwards. Hey, no pre-moves? We can do pre-moves, Zhenya. That's a recapture. Those are called safe pre-moves. Very okay to do. Very okay to do. Okay, rook's being attacked. Rook's gotta move. Rook's gotta move. Step by step, Slanius. Thanks for 22 months. Bishop there. If he did d5, which, again, would have been a very good move, we would have to go b5. Bishop to b3. I think we sort of continue like this. Knight to g5. Some evil intentions by our buddy here. A double attack. A big move from Blood Latte. Now, what are the options after knight g5? Well, I think plain and simple, if this is being attacked, there's only one thing. There's only one thing we can do. We gotta go bishop here. We gotta. Knight g5. Big move from Blood Latte. Hitting us with the tactics. And you know what? He set it up with bishop here, so credit to him. Now, he did have a chance to make a move like bishop f7 there. It would have put us on the spot for a good move. Now, I'm looking at this, and let's remember that is being threatened right now. So, this rook might be needed here. What's the only way that I can defend this without using the rook? I'll have a rook on an open file. I mean, I kind of like it there. It'd be nice if it could stay there. Knight d8 Sag. Knight d8 is definitely a Sag. d5, however, is a Pog. d5 is Pog. That defends f7 because it blocks this diagonal. And that's exactly what we want to do. That's exactly what we want to do. Bishop there. Okay. He wants me to take him, but he's also planning to take me to uncover the threat on this square right there. Very, very, very tricky stuff. So how are we going to handle Blood Latte here? He's starting to take, and then if I take like this, he's hitting that pawn. So once again, I need to defend f7. Once again, I need to defend f7. So how can I defend this pawn? Like, we already know that this is his plan, to take there. Rook e7. I think I'm on the same page as you guys. Yeah, rook e7. I think we're on the same page as you guys. Oof. It's quite fortunate that Buddy didn't play this. That would be another lesson about the open H file for me to suffer with. Okay, well, we'll take it. We'll take it. Basically, all I'm doing at this point is I'm up a pawn, and when I see a trade, I'm going to take it. That's the rule I'm following. That's why I took the rook, instead of playing rook e8. Takes here, let's take back. Was f6 strong? Sure, but f6 is not really a move we normally play in these positions. Basically, all these type of queen checks, which are gonna happen to me, I just end up running my king. It's like the only way that I know how to get my king out. So we're gonna have to run for it. But you know what's getting old and tired is me getting lost positions because of this H file. How many times has it happened? It's crazy. It's crazy. Yep. Oof. We are bailed out. We are bailed out by the hanging piece. Okay, it'd be nice to get that knight in. It'd also be nice to trade. Oh, he does not want to trade. He does not want to trade. How do I use my knight? Okay, I gotta get my knight involved. Oh, okay, check. I have to use my knight. Let's bring the knight here. Here, here, here. That's a plan. That's a plan. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, that was really easy to execute that plan. Why was that so easy? Okay, now we're gonna move this pawn. Let's pre-move it. Okay, that was really easy as well. All we did was we picked a piece that we're not using, our knight, and said, look, I can't checkmate the guy with just a queen. I got to get my knight involved. Knight. Sure. Pattern. And then we just push a pass pawn. All pre-moves, right? All pre-moves. He played so well till then, completely agree. And you know what? If he had taken that bishop earlier, he would have crushed me. Because in this position, this is lethal. Right? What am I going to do here? I'm completely screwed. I'm completely screwed. So this would have been another harsh lesson about the h7 square. Okay, but luckily that did not happen. Blood Latte blundered his pawn. Blundered his pawn. But otherwise, fantastic game. c3, bishop a4 chilling. I know that he's watching the stream. He's in stream right now, for example, saying GG. So what can we give him out of 10 on his habits? I'm willing to give him nearly a perfect score there. 9 out of 10, 9.5s. Blood Latte, way to go, buddy. Let's get a good game in for the boys. e4, e5. We have seen this before. Okay, not changing up any of my openings, right? Not changing up my openings. Bishop g5. We're happy to get that. You know, we're not going to complain. We're not going to complain at h6. Oh. You know, I'm not going to complain about knight d5. Hey, we've done this 10 times before. Knight d5. I mean, as soon as we can take this and double the pawns, we will. So let's just get that out of the way. We know we want to play h3. Okay. h3. That bishop. Takes. Take back. Nice of him to take, I would say. Generally speaking, I would say that taking that is not what he wants to do. He's forking us, though. He's attacking the queen. He's attacking this pawn as well. So I'm going to go straight back. This is just a position we've seen before. Every time it happens, let's go back, defend ourselves. Queen g3, queen g4. Oh, I know. There's a lot of tempting moves there. But you know what? Queen d1, nice and safe. Just kick the knight out, and then we can continue. Okay, we don't need to rush things. Queen d1 is a good habit. Okay, c3, we're going to kick this knight out. And look at the squares that are available to us to continue the attack. Okay, first things first, let's get castled. Okay, we always talk about how early we want to castle. We're not going to, break a bunch of habits going for mate and getting caught up in that. No, we're going to get castled. And now we can think about bringing this queen over near that king. Well, pretty much every time we take here, I always try to get the queen here. So let's start with queen there. Let's start with queen there. Okay, that is exactly what we've been going for in the past. Let's see what he wants to do. I got to get my rooks involved as well. h5. Interesting. I mean, it does look like a free pawn. So I'm going to take it. Emotus Moors. Thanks for the new sub. Thanks, man. Okay. He's attacking my queen. I don't see any issue just going right back where I came from. The rooks need to get involved. This much is clear. The queen on g4 is exactly what we like. We are level 3, exactly. You're impressed that I said that correctly. Well, thank you. It's a good habit to generally support this pawn before doing this. Just this. Okay, he's attacking our bishop. Bishop for knight. I'm not terribly interested. I'm just going to go here. But yeah, do this to support this pawn. It's a good habit to get into. After takes, your e-pawn is protected. Hello, Chloe. Nice to have you and your compliments in chat. Okay, king there. I don't think it's going to stop me from doing d4, which was my plan. Chloe says, kick his ass, Shijaku, destroy him. Oh, come on, Chloe. What? I thought you were on my team, dude. Oh, I get a compliment and immediately it backfires. Immediately it backfires. This is very typical. Very typical. Okay. I was hitting him with the rest of my random pawn moves. But I don't know what knight takes h3 is. We got a guy really try. What's the theme been today? It's been my h file. Got guys trying to go down my h file on me. Let's go a4. Let's go a4. Not h4. I don't have an h pawn. I got a4. My guy sacked his knight, recaptured it. Now it's his turn, and he has no idea what he's doing. That's not a good sign. Wow. I don't even know what dimension that move comes from. Like, what planet? Neither does he. Neither does he. We hit 1200. Okay. The important thing to remember is all those things that we looked at today. Do you guys remember when we went into the analysis mode and we had to look at some opening things? Those are the important things. Where to put the rooks. Don't just put them to the middle. Think about where you're going to place them. Okay? Actually remembering some of the opening things we looked at. Just they're very simple. They're not a ton of moves, but small things that are going to improve your opening against whatever it is, whether it's French, Sicilian, whatever. So we have a few openings now that we're going to try to do, and the more games we get, the more you're going to realize and remember with me as we play them. So level 3 is about starting to actually learn some openings. It's not in depth, not like crazy theory, but just a few. Hey guys, just a reminder that Building Habits is going to be a regular series on our YouTube channel, so make sure to get subscribed if you are not already. Drop a comment down below for the algorithm, and let me know what you thought about the video. See you next time.